To the last 16 we go now over in the Carabao Cup with some heavyweights such as Spurs, Man United and Chelsea looking at this tournament as a chance to win some silverware. But will they get through to the quarterfinals? We'll take a look at that and much more next. That's right, folks, back once again with another prediction video. Today, we're taking a look at the last 16, that's right, at the Carabao Cup, with some big crunch classics coming at you this midweek, with a spot in the last 8 waiting for the winners. But will there be any shocks on store? We'll take a look at it, all of it in a second. If you knew where you've been, smash your subscribe button. One-stop shop for Carabao Cup, Blackburn Rovers, World Football. We got it all here under one rooski. We got some ding-dong classics just around the corner. And of course, we got our prediction league back on track. We'll take a look at all of that in a second. Big shout out to the VIPs. You know who you are. The Patreons. That is right. And also the members. That's right. Big shout out to you guys for keeping us alive. Appreciate the loving over there. But let's turn the clock back to the last round of games. And then, of course, we'll look forward to, of course, the last 16. All right, then, folks, let's turn the clock back to that last round with some couple of upsets on the cards, but pretty much it went as expected, of course, including Stoke's victory over Fleetwood. I went the other way. In fact, my predictions were pretty shit, so don't look too hard into them at the moment. Brentford, though, 3-1 winners of Leyton Orient. Of course, I went with that correct one on that one. Wednesday did beat Blackpool. Preston did cause a bit of a shock against Fulham, 1-1 on the night. Penalties was the big victory at the end. Southampton is still in it with Russell Martin, so maybe a chance for them to cause future shocks with a penalty shootout victory over Everton. Palace through against QPR, got the one bang on the nose. Man United did beat Barnsley quite comfortably 7-0 in the end. Brighton beat Wolves in the All Premier League crunch class. Spurs did beat Coventry 2-1 and they got the one bang on the nose. Meanwhile, Man City did squeak past Watford. It was a close game there. And Newcastle did beat Wimbledon. Now, that game, of course, was prolonged because of a pitch shenanigans. And I do believe the game was actually played at St. James's Park. Correct me down below in the comments if I got that right or wrong. Meanwhile, Walsall and Leicester went to penalties like I predicted, but I went the other way. I went with Walsall. Leicester coming out on top in the end. Chelsea putting 5 past Barrow. I went with a 4-0 win. Villa did beat Wickham in the Paul Lambert derby 2-1 in the end. I got the one spot on the nose. Arsenal putting 5 past Bolton. I got that one pretty much close to the money. And Liverpool did beat West Ham as well. That's, of course, my Picarunos. This is, of course, the Super Brewski. Well, our own little Super Brewski, my made-up one. And Shane O'Donnell putting 14 on the board right there. Chris T alongside Hansworth, Shepherd, Gabby, Jimmy Watton and Russell. Frosty, that was, of course, for this past round. But the overall leaderboard is Hansworth with 49 points to his name. Frosty is right on his heels, though, 47. Jimmy Watton's up there alongside him. And then the Che Sing pack. I've actually got Lewis SAFC in here, maybe twice, so he probably is on to 38 points, so we'll try and correct that for the next time. But that's, of course, the situation over there. If you want to get involved, this is the link. It's absolutely free. It's a bit of fun, and see if you can out-predict me next time around then, guys. Speaking of next times, these are the games. There's 8 of them on the agenda. We're going to go through them one by one. I'm going to start at the top of the shop with Southampton. Alrighty then, folks, here we go off to Southampton as they take on Stoke coming at you this coming 29th of October, which is Tuesday. The games are coming at you thick and fast, so get your predictions in nice and early. Played 22 times since 2005, 8 wins apiece and 6 draws, of course. The Saints, they're not marching right now. 4 defeats on the spin for them. Up against Stoke, also not great form for them right now. Just 1 win in the last 6. They are the draw kings, picking up 3 draws in the last 4 matches. Now, the last time they played over at this very venue, it was a 1-0 win for Stoke back in April 2024. In fact, the home side has only won once out of the last 6. That's when Stoke beat Southampton at the Bet365 back in September 2017 in the Prem de la Prem. The Saints, though, on the back of a 1-0 loss to Man City, it was close, but not close enough. Stoke losing to Sheffield United this past weekend with the last victory being a 6-1 win over Pompey all the way back on the 2nd of October. The odds right here, right now, 2-1 on is your Saints, 90-4 is your Stoke, 7-2 is the draw. Now, this is a big opportunity for Southampton to maybe get into a quarterfinal and maybe give them something to get excited about, because right here, right now, their season has been dog shit. I'm going to go with a 2-0 win for the Saints on this one. They should come out on top with a big fat W. Next up, also on Tuesday, the 29th of October, it is Brentford under Thomas Frank up against Danny Rolls, Sheffield Wednesdays. Coming at you, the G-Tech Community Stadium over in Brentford. Played 24 times since 2003. 9 wins for Brentford, 10 for Sheffield Wednesday. 5 draws between the two sides. Brentford, though, 58% form for them right now. Just 1 defeat in the last 4 up against Wednesday. Also, 1 defeat in the last 6. They're on 67% form right now, are Sheffield Wednesday. They've turned a massive corner and started to climb up the table over the championship. Now, they last last played over at Brentford, it was a 3-0 win for Brentford back in February 2021. That was in the Championship. Brentford have actually won 3 on the bounce against Wednesday, conceded just the 1 goal in those last 3 matches. Brentford, though, on the back of that 7-0 thriller against Ipswich Wednesday with a big 2-1 away win over Pompey this past weekend. The odds 5-2 on is your Brentford, 7-2 is the draw, 13-2 is your Wednesday here. Are we in for a shock on the cards? Not for me, geezer. Going to go with a 3-1 win in the end. Brentford taking the points, not the points, but going through to the quarterfinal. Next up, we go all the way down to the coast, the south coast. It's Brighton up against Liverpool in the Alexis McAllister derby. That's right. Brighton under Fabian Husler, 67% form for them right now. Just one defeat in the last 6 up against Arnie Slot's Liverpool, who look pretty good right now. 92% form for them right now. Fresh off the back of that draw with Arsenal this past weekend. Now, they played 17 times since 2011. 3 wins to Brighton, 10 wins to Liverpool, and there's been 4 draws between the two sides now. They did play last time around, back in March 2024 at Anfield. It was a 2-1 win for Liverpool, who have just won once of the last 5 against Brighton, who've got a good record against Liverpool in the past few matches. Brighton on the back of that 2-2 draw at home to Wolves. Of course, Liverpool on the road last time against Arsenal. In fact, they've been back-to-back away matches for them. This will be their 3rd in a row. So a busy old schedule for them. In fact, Brighton will be playing Liverpool back-to-back, this time here at the Amex, and then in the Premier League at Anfield this coming weekend. So familiar opponents they will be. Coming at you right here, right now, the odds. We got Brighton at 12-5 for the victory, 11-10 is your Liverpool, and 13-5 is the draw. Will Liverpool do the double over Brighton, or will Brighton cause a bit of an upset in any of these? I'm not giving them any hope this time around. I think it's going to be close, though. I think it's going to be a 2-1 win, narrow game. Of course, Liverpool will probably rotate the squad a little bit because they've got a busy old schedule coming at you over the next couple of weeks. A 2-1 win for Liverpool for me to go through to the quarterfinals. Meanwhile, we go to Aston Villa. That's right, Villa Park, as Unai Emery's boys have taken on Crystal Palace and Oliver Glasner, fresh on the back of a victory for them, an all-important victory. Of course, now Villa under Unai Emery is 75% form for them right now, unbeaten in the last 6 matches up against Glasner and Crystal Palace. Just 1 win, last 5, 42% form for them. For them, though, over the last 6. They played 25 times. 10 wins for Villa, 8 wins for Palace, 7 draws. The last time they played at any venue was a 5-0 win for Palace way back in May 2024. That was at Selhurst Park. However, last time I played at Villa Park, it was in September 2023 in the Premier League. 3-1 win it was for Villa. In fact, the home side has won this game the last 4 matches, whether it's at Selhurst Park or whether it's been at Villa Park, of course. So will it follow that same trend? Well, we'll see in a minute. Villa, though, on the back of that 1-1 draw against Bournemouth again. Very, very busy have Villa been this season with games all over the place. And, of course, trying to compete on multiple fronts. A good chance here to rotate the squad a little bit up against Crystal Palace, who may be playing with their tails up after a big win against Spurs this past weekend. The odds, though, right here, right now, Villa are favoured. 10-9 on for the victory, 31-10 is your Crystal Palace, 5-2 is the draw. Now, is this going to be a shock on store right here, right now? I'd love to see it. I really would, for Adam Wharton's sake, to get through to a quarterfinal, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think Villa will come out on top. Again, under Unai Emery, these guys are competing. They ain't no slouches. They are top 4 candidates, and of course, they could go the distance here and maybe even win the Carabao Cup. Next up, we go to Manchester United as they take on Leicester in the Harry Maguire derby. Played 37 times since 1994, 23 wins for United. We've got 5 wins for Leicester. We've got 9 draws. That's right. United, 42% form for them right now. Just 1 win in the last 6 matches. They are the draw kings, picking up 3 draws of the last 5 matches. Up against Leicester, 58% form for them right now, winning 3 and losing 2 over the last 5. The last time they played, though, over at this very venue was a 3-0 win for Leicester. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. 3-0 win it was for Manchester United back in February 2023. United are unbeaten against Leicester over the last 3, picking up back-to-back clean sheets, of course, winning at the King Power back in September 2022. Of course, United losing to West Ham this past week. In fact, the last victory was against Brentford at this very venue. Meanwhile, Leicester losing to Forest, of course, in the Stevie Cooper derby this past weekend. 11-4 on is United, 7-1 is the Leicester, 50-4 is the draw. Again, Erik ten Hag is on borrowed time, but a win here could actually give him a stay of execution to put him into the last 8. I see it happening here, guys. I do see it happening. Going to go with a 3-0 win, big win for Man United. Turn it around and, of course, giving themselves something to shout about. Next up, we've got an absolute whopper of a game over in the northeast. It's the Geordies. It's Chelsea. It's coming at you on the 30th of October, Halloween Eve. That's why I played 68 times since 1993. We have 17 wins for Newcastle, 37 wins for Chelsea. There's been 14 draws between the two sides. The Geordies, though, just one win in the last 6 games. Pretty grim stuff for Newcastle right now. Chelsea, though, just one defeat in the last 6. They're on 75% form for them heading into this match. Of course, last time they played, though, over at Chelsea, it was in the Premier League. It wasn't that long ago. In fact, when I say it wasn't that long ago, it was just yesterday. That's right, 27th of October, 2-1 win it was for Chelsea, but it was at Stamford Bridge. The last time they played, though, at this very venue, it was a 4-1 win for the Geordies way back in November 2023. In fact, the home side has won this game for the longest time. They're unbeaten, in fact, since 2021. The last time their home side lost was when the Newcastle lost to Chelsea, 3-0 when it was, back in October 2021. That's a good 10 matches, it looks like. The odds here, 31-20 is your Newcastle, 13-8 is your Chelsea, 12-5 is the draw. We're running out of games here for an upset. And I don't even know what an upset would be here. Would an upset be Newcastle victory or would it be Chelsea? But I'm going to back Chelsea here. I'm going to make him continue. 3-1 win, big win, and maybe even a surprise win. 3-1 win for them over the Geordies on their own turf. Then we go to the northwest. That's right, it's Deepdale as Preston North End with Paul Heckingbottom at charge up against Arsenal and Mikel Arteta. Now, of course, Heckingbottom's boys, PNE, North End, the Nobbers, whatever you want to call them, they are unbeaten in the last 5, 58% form for them right now. However, they've drawn 3 of the last 4 up against Arsenal and Mikel Arteta, just 1 win in the last 3 matches. Now, they played 1 time since 2017. That was at Deepdale. It was back in January 2017. It was at in the FA Cup. It was a 2-1 win for the Gooners. That's right. The Nobbers on the back of a 3-3 thriller against Plymouth. It's actually been back-to-back draws for them. Scoring 5 and conceding 5 in quick succession. Arsenal on the back of that 2-2 draw against Liverpool. Of course, it's been quite an up and down kind of past few games for them. The 1-1 lost, 1 drew 1 heading into this. The chances are it'll be a rotated squad for the Gunners on this one. They're 9-1 as your Preston, 4-1 on as your Arsenal, 11-2 to draw. This could be a bit of an upset on the cards here. I think if Arsenal underestimate Preston a little bit because they can be difficult to break down at home, as it's seen from the past couple of draws. In fact, whether they're playing home or away, they've seemed to be quite difficult to break down. So Paul Heckingbottom has got these guys working a treat, but unfortunately Arsenal will win this one. And I'm going to go semi-big with a 3-0 win for them over at Deepdale. And then finally, folks, we go down to London for probably the big one. It is Spurs, it's Man City. All eyes on this as Tottenham's Ange Postecoglou will take on Man City and Pep Guardiola at the Fancy Pants Stadium. That's right, it's Spurs, 67% form for them right now. 2 defeats, 2 wins in the last 4 matches. Up against Man City, who've won 5 on the spin right now, of course. In all competitions and all venues. Now, the last time they played over at this Fancy Pants Stadium was a 2-0 win for City, who won back-to-back at this very venue in the EFL Cup last year and, of course, in the Premier League. But it's actually not been... it's not been the greatest fixture for Spurs recently. Just 1 win against them over the last 5. It wasn't long ago, though. If you turn the clock bump, if you ignore the last 2 games at this venue, Spurs have a good record against City. Just the 1 defeat over the last 4 prior to the last 2. So I'm trying to make it sweeter here for Man City. Man City coming in on the back of a 1-0 win over the Saints. Of course, Spurs losing the Crystal Palace. Of course, before this one. The odds right here right now, Spurs are 2-1 for the victory, 5-4 is your City, and 5-2 is the draw. And I look back at my fixtures here, I don't really see many shocks on the cards. Maybe Chelsea over Newcastle, but besides that, there's nothing really standing out that says shockaroony. Until this one, that's right. Going to go with a 3-2 goal fest. Spurs coming out top. He wants to win something in his second season. What better competition to win than this? Going to go with a 3-2 win for Angie's boys over Pep's boys to knock them out the cup this year. And that completes my pickaroonies, guys. Make sure you get your own picks in as well. Of course, they're coming at you thick and fast. That's the link. Get involved with their picks. And, of course, come back for the next round of games whenever they may be. But until then, subscribe, smash the like, catch you later. But until then, we are donezoed.